Hi everyone, this is Andrew, and welcome to our first video in the series where we will be showing you Floe, Evezer's Floe-based programming IDE. And Floe-based programming is very easy to understand, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to be creating a new canvas here. It's going to be a core type, and let's go ahead and name this guy. So Intro to Floe sounds good. And we will create a new canvas. And you can see here we have our canvas, and over on the left we have the different parameters that we can drop onto our canvas. So we're going to first be focusing with GUI elements because this is a good understanding of like what's actually happening, and it's easy to see what it is that you're trying to do. So let's go ahead and we'll start with a checkbox. Let's give the checkbox a new name, and we'll just call this guy checkbox 1. So we have actually created our first program. So let's go ahead, we will save this, and let's go ahead also, and we're going to run this with PyScript. So you can see over here, and we have a checkbox here already that is called checkbox 1, and that is the element that we just saw. So let's go back here, and nothing is really happening. So let's go ahead and change some of our settings here so that we can see some things happening. And why don't we go ahead and also change this so that we have these side by sides. We don't need to keep flipping back and forth between tabs. Okay, so we have both of our tabs open. We can see our canvas over here on the left. So let's go ahead and change some of the options. I'm going to double click on the parameter. You can see that we have the name here. You can see that this object is of type Boolean. And let's go ahead and we are going to just turn on debug so that we can see what's actually happening. So we'll go ahead again, save this. We'll come over here. It is saved. We're going to refresh. And now you can see when we press and uncheck the button, you can see that we actually can see what this checkbox is doing, and it's debugging to the terminal. So let's take a look at our terminal a little bit here as well and kind of understand what's happening under the hood just a little bit. So we'll just go ahead and take a look at the locals that we have, and you can see that here we have our checkbox 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And you can see that when we type in checkbox, just like a normal REPL, you would see that we get our checkbox object. So let's go ahead here, and we can actually also change the value. Let's go ahead and turn that to false for right now. We'll pass in true first. And you can see that when we call it and we send in a true, it checks the box. Let's do the same thing with false. And again, you can see that the checkbox is now unchecked. So we'll go back to our canvas again over here. And let's go ahead now and wire this up with another checkbox. So we are going to take this, and you can see that we want to plug it in to the next checkbox here. Let's go ahead and rename this one as well. Checkbox 2. And let's also set the debug flag for this. We will save, and we will refresh over here. And you can see now that we have both checkboxes. You can see also that checkbox 1 is wired into checkbox 2. So let's go ahead and check this, and you can see that checkbox 1 turns to true. It also turns checkbox 2 also to true. And you can see here, we are debugging both of these. You can see that we have actually checked and now unchecked both of these. So you can see this is very easy to create relationships between these objects, and this is very easy to understand. So let's go ahead and move on a little bit. Let's go ahead and add a slider. We'll just add a bunch of elements here. Slider, we will wire these two together. Let's go ahead and do a text box. We'll go ahead and wire these two together. And Let's do 2 floats. These are going to be just a number input, and that looks good for now. So let's go ahead and move on. We are going to save this again. We have saved. Let's go ahead and refresh. Again, everything is the same. Let's go ahead and take a look at our locals again. So if I hit up here, you can just go through previous commands, and you can see that we have a whole bunch new objects in our namespace. Again, checkbox, we didn't change anything. We still have these two linked together. We have GUI slider going to GUI slider 1. Again, so this one is going to go down to this one. So we can move this guy around, nothing's going to happen. But as soon as we move this one, you can see that the second one follows suit. Again, same with the checkbox, or I'm sorry, the text box. Every time that you hit enter or change the input, it is going to send the value to the next text box. And the same thing with a number. Put in a number, hit enter, or if you just go and use the arrow keys, it will send an event on every change. So we can also mix some of these types here. Let's go ahead and add one more float. Again, this slider here, let's go ahead and change this guy to debug so we can see what comes out of here. And let's go ahead and wire this guy up to this float. Let's go ahead and make a little bit more space up here. And we're going to save. We can refresh. And now we have tied GUI slider to GUI float 2. So this guy is also going to be sending its value up here. And you can see that's exactly what we see. There's a lot more messages flowing around. We still have a little bit of work to do on buffering, so this is a little bit slow to react, but you can see that messages are going around. Our float here is also getting the values, and everything is working as expected. Just to come back here again, we have all of these parameters here. If you want to see how one works, you can go ahead, double click on it, view code, and you can see the code that makes this go. Again, a lot of these objects are pretty simple. And yeah, I think that this is a pretty simple demo. Why don't we just stop it here and go ahead and click on the link here, and you can go ahead and play with this and change some of the values and go ahead and have fun. Can't wait to see what you guys create.